Welcome back. My name is Adam Soroka, CEO of Cavendish Group. I hope you're enjoying the event. I am. I really enjoy the dialogue that we're having today on this conference because I haven't done a virtual event for a while. And it's really interesting when you sit down and listen to so many of these sessions. You sort of tend to learn quite a lot. So really, really enjoyed it. I've now broken it up a little bit because I've always had feedback from a lot of people that they like to have the Q&As. They like it if I do a Q&A with someone within the industry that maybe gets a bit more meat on the bone. So I'm delighted to be joined by Ram Seetepalli, who's AI and digital enablement director for Motiva. First of all, Ram, many thanks for joining me. And if you can tell us a little bit, people who don't know you, about your role and what you do at the moment.
Hey, Adam. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here. My name is Ram Seetepalli. I'm a director for digital and AI solutions at Motiva. We're the largest refinery in North America, and I've been in consulting for a very long time and decided to join Motiva recently. And I get to work on some of the cool new technology and how to enable refinery operations better with some of the cool new innovations we have going on.
Good. I know it's good to see you as well in Houston as well. It's only last month. It seems like it was so long ago. I only saw you actually. So it's really strange, isn't it? How time flies. So the focus of this conference predominantly is digital transformation, open collaboration. Obviously, you talk a lot about AI as well. What does open collaboration mean to you, and how or why is it important to accelerate digital transformation?
Yeah, very, very interesting question because I think uh, we all collaborate in different ways. But in the downstream and in oil and gas industry, there's a lot of things I've been seeing as well for the past many years. There's a lot of things about protecting IP. We have a lot of fantastic IP in how we operate, how we optimize, and how we control our processes. And sometimes it goes too far, where it's blocked so many things from innovating just for the sake of protecting IP, which is good, but it's at the cost of speed and sharing some of the learnings, right? And this is a space where we are right now with AI and technology. It's My humble opinion is it's much better if we start sharing and collaborating, especially with the vast amounts of data sets we have across industries, within the industry and across industries. Uh, all the problems that we're going after today, there are some very complex problems: how to optimize production in real time, how to improve predictions on your feedstock coming from the left, and how can you actually start doing some of the things on the safety side, which are very, very high importance to us and other people in the industry, right? It's very
Mm,
important that we start sharing our data, right? And across industries, of course, there are some things that you have to hold close to your chest and not
yeah.
give out for IP and competitive differentiation. But there are a lot of scenarios where I see that still happening in areas of data where it's probably not differentiating. It will enable
Yeah.
much industry-wide safety. So that's the reason I think collaborating with data and getting feedback from the communities, from the industry on how we can apply and other technologies better would be fantastic.
Yeah, good answer. It's very, very interesting point you say. I do think that the sector as a whole has become a little bit less conservative. I mentioned it when I opened the event. I think it's a little bit more light-footed now than it has been. I am seeing a little bit of that the last year. I might be wrong, but you can see a little bit more openness. But you're right. I do think that even in my conversations that I have with different companies. There is that protectiveness. I feel that probably has to shift a little bit just to get a bit more openness to sort of move
Yes.
the industry sort of going forward. Digital twins and AI. Obviously, you know a lot about this stuff. You're quite involved in sort of these areas. What are your thoughts around this? Your general thoughts around these two technologies?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics. We have moved in the past maybe 3, 4 years from just talking about digital twin as a favorite buzzword. It's like agentic AI and AI. Everybody was talking about digital twin not too long ago, right? Uh, it was interesting for me to watch the shift from enabling digital twins and slowly started moving into visualization. The focus was mostly on 3D visualization, looking into what's been happening, contextualizing data, as you can see from many of the products out there, right? That was the focus. That's still the focus on building beautiful 3D models, which is fantastic because you can digitally walk through in a refinery or a plant. That's all great, but I am my thoughts around this are I'm a big fan of being able to do something with that data. And what I mean by that is it's definitely valuable to see what's out there and what has happened, but I am more of a leverage newer technology to see what we can do going forward. And of course, AI can help us with that. Of course, machine learning can help us with that. But when you apply those predictive models with fantastic visualization in digital twins, that's the universe that I would love to be in. We're on our
Yeah.
way there, meaning you're not only looking at a digital twin, but you're also looking into, hey, what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes or next 1 minute or next 1 hour, right? So use the digital twin as a continuous operational intelligence system where it's telling you constantly, hey, here's what's going to happen next. Watch out for this, right? It's more of being proactive in a way that's very very easy for us to navigate. In something like a refinery is where I see this going, and I'm really excited about what the opportunities are.
Oh, it's good to hear. I know it's fantastic. I mean, these technologies are amazing, and I think if you apply
Yeah.
them in the right way, you can see the impact it's going to have as well. On I would say the subject of AI, because obviously I know you're involved now a lot within the AI side. You made some really good comments when you were on the session on our Houston event. I remember as well. How do you see AI's role in? I wouldn't say disrupting the industry like downstream, but how do you see it transforming it? That's probably a better word to use.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing, and that's the reason I joined the industry, right? Because downstream and refining, there's fantastic opportunities to start doing things different. And I don't think it's doing it better. We've done a lot of gained a lot of efficiencies in process control, simulation, and process models. But there's a lot of things that could be done different. What I mean by that is instead of doing it more statically, right, in a static way, think of self-optimizing, self-healing that AI could bring. And it's not a pipe dream. There are companies that are doing it today in other industries, and there are companies in downstream and refining as well that are looking into today. Right? Think of a crude unit that looks at feedstock quality shifts, and the crude unit is actually self-adjusting itself to see how it can process it better. Right? All of these are very, very possible. So it will not really changing things. It's not making things better, but it's looking at things a slightly different way. How can AI, with some dynamicness, actually start doing things in runtime in a very shifting manner and start doing things in a self-healing way is something that's very exciting. And this is a topic that's very exciting, right? Being the geek I am, I get really geeked out about
I think we all are. Well,
AI.
you're more of it. You're much cleverer than me, Ram. So,
So how can we get things to run continuously and heal themselves is the universe that I see from an AI perspective in downstream.
yeah, it's very cool. I mean, it's nice to see how you can apply. I think the excitement will come when you actually have these things happening and optimizing and working on their own. You think, wow, why didn't we do this 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those moments, I think, as well. Finally, like obviously to bring it together, because you're an established leader in where you are. What advice would you give to others? It doesn't matter what company they're in, but if they're to scale digital transformation effectively and responsibly as well. It's interesting because someone made a comment earlier, I don't know who it was, when they said it might be effective but it's not responsible or something like that. Is one or the other. So how do you do where one works with the other? What sort of advice would you give?
Yeah, I follow a few things very closely in my, again, very close to my chest in terms of what I would call things to look out for. And I do this on a daily basis because we get hit with a lot of use cases that our business wants to work on. And I see a lot of other use cases in downstream when it comes to AI and digital transformation. The first three are very obvious. It's about real business value, make sure there's business value, and data foundation. Everybody talks, been talking about it for decades. My pet peeve is we
Yeah.
talk about data foundation, but we need to do more work there. And then the third one is adopt a product mindset. Don't think project, think product, put KPIs in place, look into long-term vision for the product. A project is it has a clear start and end date. A product is an ongoing journey, right?
Yeah.
And the last one is more recent. Don't underestimate what needs to be done to put the right guardrails for AI, because there's a lot of state and federal policies, especially in the U.S. and North America,
Mm.
that are showing up. So be very watchful of what is changing on a weekly, if not daily basis, on policies, and adjust your guardrails for responsible AI. So these are the four things I think we all need to
Mm.
carefully watch for on the horizon.
Yeah, good advice. I didn't that last point you made is really clever actually, because especially in the US, I didn't realize because you see there's a lot more regulation coming into play. I mean, it's happening in the EU as well, obviously, but I think in US probably a little bit more accelerated on that side, a little bit more frequent. So yeah, great advice, Ram. Thank you very much for joining me. It's always a pleasure having you, and I look forward to having you at another event. But really appreciate you joining me for this Q&A session.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having me, and have a great day. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Cheers, Ram. Thank you. Really interesting points, actually. I mean, we haven't talked so much about the regulation side, and I think that's something that's come into play a lot. You know, you've got a lot of the EU acts that are going into all of the sort of the regulations now for industry happening in the next sort of few months. So it'll be interesting to see how AI is scaled responsibly, which is really important. Who's to blame and who's at fault, and I think that's why having a human in the loop is still going to be quite prevalent going forward.